lovies, 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 lovies. Hi, guys. Can you believe this is episode 13? I heard legends say what? That's right. You're welcome. Welcome, everybody. And it's been another long week. We got a great show planned. We're going to talk about and actually go to some video from DMX's memorial services or funeral, both actually. We're going to talk more about Black Rob. We're just going to talk. And we also have special guest joining us, legendary DJ Mr. C stopping by. I want to take this time right now to remind you guys to please like and subscribe the YouTube page. Miss Jones Reunion is doing well, but I need more. And also make sure you check me out Thursday nights at 9 on Flip the Script channel with Queen's Flip. We got a little thing going on there. To the squad. I don't know if we the Fight Club, the Tea Party, the Tea Leaves. I don't even know, but I have shout outs. Mr. Miranda, Daryl, Serena, Sabrine, Mo, Rachel, Sean Ray Williams, Cynthia Terrence, Roberto, Sharon, Ryan, D. Marie, Chubbs, LaShawn, Ryan Mustafa, T Boots, Che Bella, One Mo Love, Talk to Me Nice, T Simmons, Blonde, Bombshell, Caramel, and Michelle One Time. Also, sorry if you hear noise in my background, my noisy co-host. Also, I'd like to give a lot of love to Rob Love, who used to work at Def Jam Records, a fixture at Def Jam Records in a good way. And you guys don't know that it was actually my interview on his show that caught the eye of envy and kind of started the communication for this whole thing. So he's got something going on Launchpad Worldwide Inc. Peter Tosh, that whole Peter Tosh Day, we'll put the information up. We want you to order a t-shirt for 420 Day. It just passed. So we want to salute International Peter Tosh Day, and we'll get that information up for you. But ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome to episode 13 of the Miss Jones Morning Show Reunion.
Yeah. Sonny Culture's back. What?
Culture! What's up, family? How the family doing?
Yeah, whatever. You and Ebro be acting Hot 97 funny.
I don't know Ebro. Who's Ebro? I don't know that dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that dude.
And let's get the elephant. You sound echoey too.
Do I? I'm sorry.
You got that Project Hallway sound.
Yeah, definitely.
This is actually how I learned to sing when I was a kid in the hallways.
That reverb is popping, right?
So Shawnee's still in the projects, but it's all good because we got Project Love.
You know what? Queens for life.
So all day. So when Shawnee's not here with us, it's usually because we've taped our show on a Monday night. And Shawnee, will you tell everybody where they can find you on Monday nights?
Yeah, thank you. Every Monday I do a show called Culture Movement Monday, just to kind of celebrate people who are looking for platforms to get forward, move forward. So it's like artists, it's singers, it's financial advisors, it's entrepreneurs, dentists, just anything that's going to move the culture forward. So,
but it's not Ray J.
It's not Ray J.
It's not Ray J.
But like it's a platform. It's a live on my own personal IG page in the live. It's a show in the live. Right?
So give the address.
Content. So it's at Shani Culture, SHANI, Culture with a K. Check me on Mondays, 8 p.m. Culture Movement Monday.
And don't bury the lead. There's a DJ. He plays great West Indian music that we love.
DJ Rob De Niro. So it's kind of like, he plays the music. I welcome the people into the room, and then we push it to the content. People get to enjoy and comment. It's a vibe for like a straight album.
I'm going to have to charge you for this. It's become a commercial.
It's become a commercial.
And research, thank you for the...
Yeah. Yo, Jones, you know what? I'd love if you could be a guest on my show too.
Don't try it. No.
Nice. Good work, Shawnee.
Like
it works every time.
No,
and I'm coming anyway, but don't do this to me. I just got work. I just got worked over, people. This is how being worked over looks
So
like.
everybody here is a witness. You know, Jones will be on Culture Movement Monday.
It's official.
It's official. It's going down. It's going down. You already know what it
Good
is.
looking, yo.
I just love how when research talks about COVID, like her accent is nowhere to be found. But once the music comes in, it gets thick as fuck.
Miss Wallace walks into the building.
That's right.
It
Very
gets-
quiet.
Peas and rice and curry.
That's right. I made some bake and some I made
Some
baked
fish.
and stewed chicken tonight.
Mhm.
With some
Mhm.
peas and rice and some fried plantains. I haven't eaten yet, but the family has.
All of a sudden, you failed the drug test out of nowhere. God damn.
She sounds so wise, but she talks with the accent.
She does.
All right, so Jay Black, hey, Mike Sean,
Hey.
Shawnee, welcome back.
What up?
And
What up?
Tay,
What up? What up?
Too bad Envy's been canceled, so I don't see him. Envy, what the hell? Envy, you can't be getting canceled before I get my, I mean,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Uh-huh.
We're worried about you. We're just worried. Yeah. Here you go.
Somebody's been trending.
every couple of years, a year or so, they cancel me for something that I say. That's the problem with our culture. You know what I mean? If they have an opinion that you don't necessarily agree upon, the first thing they do is they want to cancel you instead of having a conversation.
it's so immature and petty of them too,
That's
and
what is whack and that's
small.
what is trash. And that's also the reason why I have all these other businesses. So it's like, it is what it is. What am I like? You can't cancel me. Good try. And the reason
Right.
that they're quote unquote trying to cancel me is some bullshit. So, but we could talk about it. We could discuss it. I love it. Let's
Let's
do it.
get right
Let's do
in.
it.
All right.
So-
So
The
Break it
big
down.
news story this week leading was the 16-year-old black girl that was shot by the police in Columbus, Ohio.
Mhm.
The story was supposedly she was a foster child and that the foster mother was getting the foster mother's biological 28-year-old daughter to beat the 16-year-old up. The younger sister called 911 and the biological dad of the foster girl that got shot. Then the cops arrived. They see Michaela, the girl that got shot, with a knife. They roll up on the scene, didn't know what was going on necessarily, and they saw one girl being tossed onto the ground, the father kicking the girl, and then they saw Michaela with a knife and didn't know what she was going to do, and they shot and killed her. So the world this is on the heels of the George Floyd tragedy and the other tragedies at the hands of police. A lot of people are trying to group it into that, and it is not that. But they're trying to group it into that, and that's going to mess it up for everyone. Envy's position and my position are slightly similar, but I'm going to let Envy go. And do you want to play the audio of you and Charlemagne and what you got into?
I'll break down of what I say because I say it again. I stand by what I said. So, like I told everybody, they were mad at the police officer. The police officer killed her, and he should be fired. And I said no. I said what that officer did was protocol, and he shouldn't be fired. So I'm gonna break it down.
Because your dad was an officer.
My dad is a retired police officer. So anytime any police shooting happens, the first thing I do is I call him because I want to get both sides. I want to get the protocol side
Good job.
and then
Good
what I
job.
see.
Mhm.
So protocol, I asked my dad what happened. So he says, think about it. They got a 911 call. Hey, my sister's being jumped and they're beating her up and they have a knife. That's the call they get. Police pull up. And what's the first thing the cops see? The first thing the cops see is Michaela resting dead. It's a tragic situation. I don't think anybody should lose their life, but I'm gonna break it down. They see a girl get thrown on the floor, and the girl, I think her name is Micaiah. I don't want to say her name wrong, but Micaiah is going at another girl with a knife in her hand. The other girl that she's going at has no weapon, and you can see she's clearly like this, not trying to. So then the police has to make a decision. What am I going to do in this situation, right? They don't know who called the police. To them, possibly the person that has the knife is the one that they're saying that they called the police for. So now what do? As an officer, they say, well, you could have tackled her. She's too far away and she's already in motion. There's no tackling going to happen. Then they say, oh, well, he could have pulled out the taser and shot her. By the time he went and pulled out that taser and tried to shoot her, she probably would have stabbed her anyway. And let's be honest, 60% of the tasers don't work. right? 40% are effective, 60% is not effective when it comes to tasers, right? That's why when you see people get tased, you see them shaking it off and they walk through. So that wasn't gonna work. So even if she got tased, there was a good possibility that that girl was still gonna get stabbed. Now you say, okay, well, what is there left to do? Now, a police officer can use deadly force in two instances. One, to protect a civilian or to protect themselves. He was protecting a civilian. That girl was gonna get stabbed. We don't know how bad she would have got stabbed. We don't know if she'd have got cut, if she would have got.
We don't know if she would have if she deserved maybe to get stabbed.
Right.
But
we don't know. But when the officer got there and said, freeze, everybody stop, and you continue, and you're about to stab somebody, the officer made his decision, I'm going to protect that person. So now, so the officer shot 4 times. They say, oh, well, you could have shot her in the leg. You're watching too much movies. That's not what officers are trained for. Oh, you could have shot her in the hand and the knife would have flew.
He could have shot her once.
That was the movies. No.
The movies ain't once.
The course, they used deadly force to stop. And that's what he did. He shot her to stop her from stabbing that girl. And that's what he did. That's what he was supposed to do. Now, after, everybody can say, oh, well, it was the wrong girl. He doesn't know any of that. The video of the neighbor, you even hear her saying, I'm about to fucking stab you. So everything lined up with the girl about to stab the girl. Police don't know who's the good guy, the bad guy. All they know is the police came and said, everybody stop, nobody stop. You're aggressively trying to stab her. I'm protecting this young lady. He shot. Open case, closed case. There is no other thing. Now, people could pull, well,
not an open.
White, and I seen another case.
Not open and closed case.
It's not.
That's not an open and closed case, Envy.
You cannot talk. It is because it's protocol.
No, it's not, because number one, he's a sharpshooter in his history in the military.
Right. What does sharpshooter mean?
That means that one shot could have stopped the whole thing.
Sharpshooters use
rifles. No, I'm saying, but you're saying he can't shoot somebody in the leg. I agree with you. He can't. First of all, before I even say this, I believe the dialogue should be had, and that what's going on with people trying to cancel Envy for having a different opinion is the bullshit. The bullshit that I've been warning Blacks and Hispanics getting involved in this cancel nonsense, because of what winds up happening is we wind up catching the cancel shit worse than anybody else.
Amen to that.
First thing. Now the debate I'm having is the man was a sharpshooter who understood he could shoot her once from a distance, and he could have stopped that whole thing. Letting off 4 shots from a guy who's trained, not just as a police officer. This is a man who's trained in the military to be a sharpshooter. He went in there with the aggression of shooting this girl 4 times. I'm not saying the hood shit that went on beforehand. That's a whole nother story, because I'm sick of the hood shit. I
want to step in.
Yeah, go ahead.
The biological father, supposedly that was him that kicked the other girl when she was
Why
down
wasn't
on the
he
floor.
shot?
How about this? Why is she in foster care, bitch? If you up and alive and well enough to jump in a girl fight, bitch, why is she living with the next family? Where was you then? And why are you a dude? No, why are you a dude engaging in some girl fight shit? Secondly, Michaela, you're not running away from people. You running at them with a knife. Get in the house. You weren't running for your life and fearful for your life. Get in the house someplace. Did my eyelash just pop off?
Well, why you fix that?
Yeah, that was God.
What
God just caught your
happened?
eyelash.
It didn't. Nope, it did. It wasn't.
God
it
just
wasn't.
grabbed you, and like the second apostle did too.
Oh, I'm not finished, Tay. I'm not finished. Go in the house. You have a chance to get away. Stop trying to prove a point. Because say what you want. We all know these cops ain't got no love for us Black people. You know somebody's bound to call them. You see the news like everybody else sees the news. What usually happens when the cops roll up? So, father there, but not in the light. But you come when they call you for the bullshit to kick a girl instead of breaking up a fight with your biological daughter who's living with a foster family. I'm gonna rest right there. That right there to me. I'm not letting no fucking fathers off the hook today. Well, that's bullshit. Wait, let Tay go because I shut her down.
So, two points. I'm gonna do what Michael Sean did. The cancel culture is bullshit. right?
Oh yeah.
If you don't agree with someone, we have a right to have different sets of opinions.
Sure, not for long.
For me, canceling someone is someone who I feel has done something absolutely outrageous and egregious, and I no longer watch their show or buy their product or listen to their music or whatever it is. But the word cancel came from within the Black hip hop culture. And once the culture vultures grabbed it and took it mainstream, and now it's being used by people in the White House and all other kinds of stuff, it has a completely different meaning. We have to be a bit more protective of our terms, our words, and what those meanings are.
That's impossible. That's impossible. They've been stealing from us
and taken,
but they always, because that's what they do. They've been thieves since the beginning of time. The land that we're standing on now, they stole. So you're asking people that are by nature thieves and killers and robbers to change their ways. No, this is what they do. They want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no worries. So the next jumping back to the other topic, the foster mother was the one who instigated this issue and instigated the fight and had this 28-year-old woman and some other people come to fight her 3 days in a row. The youngest sister called the police the day before. I said
all of that already. I broke that down. What is your point? What is your opinion? Because we got to go around the room.
My point is, that girl should still be alive. And it's not just, if we're going to ride with Envy's perspective, then there's a whole lot of other people here responsible too who should be arrested and held accountable. The foster mother who instigated the fight.
The biological father, all of them bitches, everybody
needs to be pulled into this as well. My other point that I was making earlier was this. Why is it that protocol only comes into play when we're dealing with Black and people of color?
Now that's a good point.
Why is protocol only in play with us?
Because that little white boy that shot up people at that march and he walked in front of the cops with a shotgun.
Thank you.
And they gave him a bottle of water. He went home and had a good night's sleep.
The day before the George Floyd verdict came out, you saw a white dude in a van or some type of truck dragging police officers down the road. No gunshots fired. Where was protocol then? You see tons of videos coming with, you got folks with machetes and swinging and all kinds of stuff. Nothing.
Outside the Capitol. And they didn't even call the National Guard. But we had our Black Lives Matter march and the National Guard was there with tanks and everything.
So for me,
you're right.
My thing is, can we at least get some of the same consideration that everybody else gets? I don't want to see anybody shot dead. I don't want to see white folks shot dead. I don't want to see anybody shot dead. Can we please get some of the same consideration that everybody else gets?
Go ahead, Shani.
I'm basically kind of covering the same points, and I was going to say behind what you were saying, Jones. You're speaking of common sense, right? And how we move out here in the streets. We're supposed to know that when the police roll up, you don't move a certain way. And what Envy is saying too, in terms of like, look, this is how they get down. That's what got all of us alive still, because we all been in crazy situations and we know how to move out here.
True.
And unfortunately, some people have not followed that same common sense thing. But the other side of it too is, and not to repeat like Tay's point of what we're all saying, but why is the excessive force so, we can't accept that either. You know what I'm saying? We know that she should not have been holding the knife, but 4 shots is excessive. You know what I'm saying?
All right, but what if 1 shot had killed her? Would it have made a difference, 1 shot versus 4 if he's a marksman?
It doesn't, and that's my
point. I hear you.
Mike, I would say this to answer you, Mike. Right? He was a marksman when it comes to long gun. Long gun and short gun are totally different if you ever fired a handgun. That's A. B, I've seen people get shot and continue to run. I've seen people get shot and continue to drive. I've seen people get shot and continue to skip down the street.
We do remember this was a 16-year-old girl.
Don't matter. She was built like a...
It doesn't matter if you're 16 or 21.
Don't do that.
You don't matter if you're 16 or 21. If you shot her once, she could have still stabbed that girl.
Listen,
and she had a knife.
This is the way I look at it. I'll let you speak now.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And this is the way I look at it. I look at it like this. If my daughter was on the back of that car and somebody was coming to stab her and possibly kill her and take her life, I want that person stopped by all means.
So what if your daughter was the other one? What was your daughter was the other one?
If my daughter is chasing aggressively at somebody and the cops will come and you sees the cops and you continue, then you get what you get in that situation.
And you don't get upset.
And that's the same as me. If I see cops coming and I got beef with somebody and I still pull my gun out or I still got my knife, I know what's coming to me because their defense is to protect. Even right now, when I carry my gun everywhere, and let's say something happens, say somebody tries to rob me and I pull out my gun, I know there's a chance if there's a cop coming, a cop ain't gonna know what's going on. Cop ain't gonna know I'm defending myself, and I have to accept that. Now,
Andy, can I ask one question?
Two thoughts.
I try to put my position, and my whole thing is, if you were scared, right? And I don't know the backstory. If you were scared, why'd you get out the house?
Go back in the fucking house.
Told her to go outside and fight.
So when your dad showed up, why didn't you say, Dad, can you please take me away from this? Why you didn't do that? Why you were still being Billy Badass and with the
she's 16.
But this is my point. But this is my point.
Nobody deserves to die. It was
nobody deserves to die.
We have
the cop followed the protocol and did what his protocol was right. He didn't do anything he was supposed to.
Two thoughts, real quick. Two thoughts.
Wait, let Jay Black speak. Go ahead.
Just the two thoughts. One is Envy. As soon as the cop first got out the car, he immediately went lethal. I'm thinking if you come in and you see a fight happening,
he did.
He immediately
took his gun out.
He said, "What's going on?" No, he had his hand out and was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Then
The other hand was on the gun.
Other hand was on the gun.
Is that
Okay.
your first
She had a knife in her hand.
She had a knife.
Yeah, we saw that after he saw the first tussle.
No, we saw what we saw after. The body cam is showing us after. His eyes saw probably a chick with a knife.
So you read his eyes now?
I read eyes.
You read eyes now?
I read eyes.
It kills me how the benefit of the doubt. We're giving police officers the benefit of the doubt. Wait, let me finish.
Go
In
ahead.
that situation, we don't never get the benefit of the doubt. And we give the benefit, and now we want to have 7 different circumstances on why this individual did that. We don't get those options because I'm watching white boys try to stab cops and they're not shooting at all. I'm watching white guys grab their gun and say, I'm going to kill you on video, and they're not shooting at all. So I'm not giving these dudes the benefit of the doubt. Even if you prove all these angles, cool. That's cool. And if it's my bad, then it's my bad. But motherfucker, you made this.
You're right. No, you're right. And and I agree with you. And they see themselves in the images of, oh, he's just a good kid having a bad day. That's what happens. I think Mr. C is in the waiting room.
And I would just want to say one thing.
Hold on, Envy. Hold on. Wait. See if he's in the waiting room. Hold on, guys.
He is.
We're coming right now. Sorry.
I just have one question.
We're getting you right now. Okay, bye. I just want to say something real quick before you go in, Envy, if you don't mind. Mike, I agree with what you're saying. And I have to say that I think my own triggers are what is shaping my passion and my position. Because when I was 16, I was being chased and beaten with a bunch of girls from Rochdale with brass knuckles. And all I wanted was an officer to be in Lincoln Center Tunnel, 66th Street in Manhattan, one cop to stop and help me. Envy's wife got her face chopped up by a group of fucking chicks with knives. So we come from a position of, we've been there. We've been on the other side when, they could have just shot her once. No, her face was, she had to go on Geraldo Rivera to get her whole face repaired. Go ahead, Envy. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would say, what would have happened if he would have went and tackled that girl and she stabbed that other girl and that other girl would have died? Then it would have been a totally different thing. Well, he should have did something else. He should have laid it down.
Yeah, fuck
and
all
yes,
that.
my wife is the one that got a $150 across her face from a girl cutting her, and 62 in her leg.
Well,
and if I was there and I had my gun, I would have laid that girl out too.
All the fucking way out.
It's just a cut in your face. Fuck that. My wife could have died.
My question is,
if you're aggressively going at somebody,
what?
And I don't know the reason why. It is what it is, and I don't care about. Well, this happened. When they do this, that's changing the goalpost. We're talking about what happened that day.
What happened that day?
Seen that girl, and that's what he did. And we could talk about every case that happened. You could talk about me getting thrown on a car and me getting shot at. We could talk about me fighting officers. That doesn't mean anything. That case, that day, that officer did what he thought was right, and he followed protocol. That's it.
That's it. Bring Mr. C in. Mike, you want to finish? Because you wanted to say something.
No. I mean, because it's a long conversation, and I just want to reiterate one more thing. If a person can't have an opposite opinion and you guys can't handle it, then fucking sit in a little room by yourself. Because we can't have a conversation and get to a conclusion or something if we can't have difference of opinions on platforms like Envy is on and platforms that we're on. If you can't take it, you're just not an adult, and you should just sit in the fucking room and just do what you do.
But you know what? That's the whole temperature right now of the Republican Party, which is why, we're going to make bills where people can't march anymore because they're marching against us. So guess what? If people march, then you have the right to run them down with your car.
Yep.
Oh, if people vote against us, now we're going to make it so that they can't vote the fuck at all. So all that cancel shit comes straight from the fucking Republican Party. Pick a finger, bitches. Where's Mr. C? I can't even see him. I want to ask him. I want to join him in.
Did he ring the doorbell?
Wait.
I don't even know.
We're done with
Start
this
that
one?
shit.
Hey. There you go.
Everybody, welcome. Legendary DJ Mr. C, our former co-worker and our always friend. Welcome.
Welcome, C.
I'm sorry. We didn't hear you. We didn't hear you at the door because we were talking about the whole 16-year-old shooting incident, and it got really.
Oh, where's light skin at?
Oh, yeah, you can't see me?
I can't see light skin.
He got canceled.
Oh, there you go. What up? What's good?
What's going on?
Hey, let me just start off by saying, this in person, even though we're on Zoom, but in person, I said this to you, Envy, in the DM, but I'm going to say this to you in person, and for everybody that's going to be watching this, man, I just want to thank you for being a stand-up dude, man. The way that you, and even when we talked in the DM, you said, this is not you riding out, this is what you normally do, but you riding out for Jonesy on her relaunch and her reboot, just the things that you have done throughout the years, what you did last year with the whole DJ thing, raising the money with you and Capri and the other DJs raising money during the pandemic. Quick story, they raised the money, and then Envy sends me a DM like, yo, what's your Cash App? And I'm like, for what? And then he's like, nah, we want to send you a little something, we raised money. I'm like, bro, I don't need nothing. He's like, nah, you the OG, we gotta send you something. Like the things that I've seen you've done throughout the years, just really have made me respect you even more and more and more and more as a man, more than a human being, as a man, more than a air personality, an entrepreneur. And I just my respect for you is at a very, very high level.
Aww.
I said this to you on the DM. We don't really talk on the phone. I don't have your number. I don't think you got mine, but we talk on the DM. So, but I just wanted to say this in front of everybody. Light skin, I got a lot of respect for you, man. And keep doing what you're doing. And salute to everybody on here. Oh, I see Shawnee Culture.
What up, Shay? What's good? Lionheart.
So I just wanted to say that Envy to start things off, man. But shout out to everybody here on the call. Michael Sean, I haven't seen you in a while, man. You're doing a great job, man. And
thank you, C.
Salute to you as well, being back on this platform with Jonesy, man. And it just I watched the episodes. Y'all do y'all thing, and I'm glad to be here.
Envy's a good dude. He just forgets comedians' Cash Apps matter too.
Well, no, I mean, it's like I didn't really, and I know we're going to talk about the Hot 97 days and so on and so forth. Like, I didn't really get to see that side of Envy during our run at Hot 97. Like, me and Envy had our own conversations while we was at Hot 97 together, because, and this is well documented, Envy has talked about this on plenty of platforms, but the way Hot 97 was at that time, everything was divided.
Competitive.
Either you was either with the big dog pit bulls, or you was with the heavy hitters, or so on and so forth. But what I tried to do, and Envy can attest to this or not, but what I tried to do was I tried to just be fair to everybody when I was at Hot. And me and Envy would have our side conversations from time to time, and But I never really, I can't say that me and him was ever really close for me to see the man that he is from the outside looking in now. I didn't really get to see that in him at Hot, but I know that him and Clue always was tight, and I knew that they always would ride out for each other. But to see this from him from afar is just it's a joy to see, and I wish I would have got to see it at Hot, but to see it now throughout the years is just it's great to see. So once again, salute to you.
I appreciate that, man. I would say, since we're talking about Hot 97, Hot 97 was very cliquish when I got there, right? So it was either big dog pit bulls or heavy hitters. And I wasn't in either one of them. Clue only had one show a week, so Clue really didn't have nothing in the game in there. So he was just doing his show and got out of there. So I was really there by myself. So nobody really fucked with me. Like Flex never fucked with me. Enough just was kind of a, say what's up, just, what up. And I never had no side. So Mr. C was the only one that would show me love that I could at least talk to and listen to and hear how he played music and be able to kick some game. Everybody else was really to them sides. So I always appreciated that and respected that, and by DJs doing that, it made me show more love to DJs because I remember how I felt and how I always felt like the outsider. And that's why I never created a DJ clique. Like everybody's like, yo, why don't you create your own DJ? I never wanted to create a clique because I never wanted to be like, nah, I can't fuck with you because you a big dog pit bull and you a heavy hitter and I only fuck with the Gwinnett DJs or what, the union DJs. Nah, I never wanted that. I always wanted to fuck with everybody. So I never created a clique. I want to tell Mr. C a funny story. I'm gonna tell you how Mr. C played me crazy, y'all. Coming up in the game, Mr. C is an A&R, right?
At Mercury
Records.
Wow.
I was a DJ with no name. I was probably DJ Shrimp at the time, right? I called Mr. C. Mr. C was like, I was like, yo, can I come get some records? So he was like, yeah, come up, just be here by 12. So now, I'm coming from Queens. So this ain't I'm going around the block. So this is before I had a car. So we had to jump on the train. We take the train. I never been to the city before. I take like 3-4 trains. I get there. I was like, yeah, I'm here to see Mr. C. They was like, Mr. C's at lunch, come back. I'm like, all right. Wait for about 45 minutes, come back. Mr. C, he ain't got time for you today. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, was he in the meeting? It was like, yeah, he's in a meeting. I sat out there for 3 hours. I see Mr. C come down, get in his car and leave. I was so hurt back then, man. Wow. Back then, man.
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yo, have y'all ever noticed that Envy always remember the stories when he got slighted or when he got he remember them stories to a T. If you know the history of Envy, he remember them stories to a T. I swear to God, I don't even remember that. I don't remember that. But
those make me work harder. I'll
tell you one, yeah, absolutely. But I'll tell you one story that I do remember with me and Envy that I feel that this was, and I could be right or wrong, but I feel like when this happened to Envy at Hot 97, I feel like this was the last straw for Envy when he said, I got to move on. We started a crew, Flex started a crew called the Going Brothers, where it was Flex, Enough, and myself. And I guess he took it like the DJs that was on every day, and this is what I'm thinking Flex was thinking, the DJs that was on every day, I'm going to create a crew called the Going Brothers. So then there was some type of discrepancy because Envy was on every day in the morning. And so Envy's whole thing was, well, why am I not a part of the Going Brothers if you got C and you got E? And I don't know how that conversation went with Enough and Flex. Envy can talk about it. But I think and Envy, I could be wrong, but I think when Flex didn't include you with the Going Brothers, I think from your standpoint, I think you felt like that was the beginning of the end of you moving on.
That and one other thing, I never told the story, but see, you know the story. So Flex was out one day, and every time Flex was out, he would either get Cypher Sounds, C, or Bobby Trends to fill in. My album was coming out, and they said, you know what, Envy, you fill in for Flex. So I'm filling in for Flex. Yo, it's DJ Envy. I'm filling in for Flex. Yo, here's another one of my album coming out. And Flex 2A'd me. Yo, this is my show. Who the fuck are you talking on my show like that? And me and him went back and forth on text. He was like, I'm gonna have to come see you. I said, come to the station right now. So me and Flex was about to fight, right? Ebro knew about it. He heard about it. and he stopped it. And I don't know if you remember. Remember, they suspended Flex for 2 days because of that, because he threatened me. And
I remember he got suspended. I never knew what it was about.
From there, I was like, me and this nigga will never like each other. And to this day, we have never seen eye to eye, never fucked with each other. And it is what it is. I'm sure he got some respect for me. I got some respect for him, but I never seen eye to eye with him ever since.
And I remember, and I don't mean
wait. No, I want to join in that. That is so funny. I didn't know about that. But I heard that when I first came back from Philly to New York, and the station Hot 97 was throwing me this big casino boat ride, like a welcome back. My boat ride was either the same week or the same day as Flex's album dropping or birthday party or something. And supposedly he got pissed off at Sunny, who was on the cooking show stuff. She used to do middays. He got pissed off at Sunny one day, allegedly, because Sunny was promoting my party and not his. And it's supposed, you know what? I need to get Flex on this show because me and him need to have a face-to-face because it's a lot of stuff. Envy, if you weren't in the Go-In Brothers, it probably was more having to do with me because Flex couldn't control me.
I think the Go-In Brothers thing was before the Sunny situation. Maybe, no, I think it was that. That probably was after.
I was there for the Go-In.
Yeah, because Sunny was gone by the time the Go-In Brothers thing started.
Right, but the Sunny thing, that whole, why are you promoting her comeback and not my event? And Sunny said, we still got days for your event. Her boat ride is this weekend.
Right.
And he said, allegedly, he said, do you know who I am? And then weeks later, all her negotiations with the station for renewal of her contract stopped.
Him and Sunny never got along really too much.
But you know, like, I just want to before this leaves my head, I remember specifically when Envy was considering leaving to go to Power. And Envy, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember you would come to me and have those secret conversations like, yo, they hollering at me down the street or whatever the case is. And I don't think I ever told you not to go, but you know, you was just telling me. And I will never forget the day that you came to me and you said, we was in the DJ booth and you was like, yo, see, they're asking me to come to they asked me to come over there. And I might have said, yo, I don't think you should go over there. I think I did say that. I thought like you shouldn't go over there. And I will never forget the line that you told me. You said, see, I would rather be the star player on the Mets than one of the role players on the Yankees. I will never forget that line.
Nigga, you better work it out. Class.
And that line, and if you're into sports, the Mets is not always the best team.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings right there. I'm a Met fan.
Even if you're not, it means he wants to be a big fish in a small pond rather than be.
But he said to me, I'd rather be the star player on the Mets.
Right, a big fish in a small pond.
And then on the Yankees.
Right, then just going along.
When he said that to me, I was like, yo, go do your thing, man. Do your thing. Do what you got to do or whatever the case is. And me saying that wasn't the end all. Envy was going to do what he was going to do. But, you know, then thinking about it throughout the years, I was like, you know, this man didn't even have to trust me. We didn't have that relationship, me and Envy, to where he can even trust me to tell me that he was leaving. Because I was rolling with Flex, I could have been on some sucker shit and went back and told, even though management probably knew, because Envy was having this conversation with management, I'm sure, but I'm just going back to the trust and the intangibles that was happening in the building at that time. He didn't have to tell me that he was trying to leave, but I think, you know, Envy probably respected me enough to this fact of just wanting to get my opinion and just wanting to get my hearsay on the matter. But you know, he made the
decision. As you were OG and you've been around, you've seen it all.
He made the decision, and well, me being an OG didn't mean shit because he bust the move, and now is, you know, he got the, you know, biggest morning show platform in America. So you know, so just salute to all of that.
Damn.
In part thanks to me.
Right.
It all comes back to Jones.
Focus. Okay.
Can I ask you a question, C?
Yes.
One thing I never understood, right?
The fuck is this, the fucking Breakfast Club or fucking
reunion show? Why did you leave Hot 97?
That is a great question because people interview and they never ask me that question.
You didn't have to leave. You were
and
still on radio.
People got so many different interpretations of what they thought happened, of why I left. And I'm glad you asked me that because we're going to get into it. So what basically, the story is kind of long, but what basically, to try to make it as short as I can possibly make
No, you don't have to make it short. We want
basically what happened was I was told by Flex, and I've never told this full story in detail, but I'm gonna give it to y'all because we have that relationship. But basically, I was told by Flex that they wanted to remove me from the Throwback at Noon, and from, if y'all remember, I used to do a show called Friday Night Live. So they wanted to remove me from the Throwback at Noon and the Friday Night Live show and just have me on weekends. All right. It was either that or they wanted to remove me from the Throwback at Noon and just have me on Friday. But they wanted to remove me from the Throwback at Noon. All right. The numbers wasn't doing good, according to them. The numbers wasn't doing well, and they wanted to remove me from the Throwback at Noon. Flex said this to me. Okay. I said to Flex, no problem. Boom. I'm good with that. I'm cool with that, or whatever. So TT Torres came in and she became the music director. I still had the role as the mix show coordinator. I was in charge of all the DJs, basically, or the DJ supervisor. So that title was not relinquished from me. So TT came in, TT Torres came in as the program director.
Music director.
Music director. I'm sorry. She came in as the music director. And I will never forget, it was Thursday, November 20th, 2014. I was DJing a party in Long Island with my boy Hollywood that was rocking with me at the time. He still rolls with me. DJ a party. We leave the party in Long Island. I get in my car. It is about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I see an email from TT. And she sends an email to all the jocks saying that there's been changes at the station. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the changes. And with the changes, it showed that I wasn't going to be doing the Throwback at Noon anymore.
No conversation, just the email?
It was just an email. And the email was sent like 1 in the morning.
Raggedy.
This is a company email.
Raggedy.
Never told the story. The email was sent 1 in the morning. And it was a company email to all the jocks. It was only to all the DJs saying about the changes. My theory was, if I'm a part of management, because I'm the mix show coordinator, shouldn't somebody have a conversation with me and tell me as well that the email's getting ready to happen? Because I already verbally agreed with Flex that, okay, this is getting ready to happen. I understood where it was going, but shouldn't somebody from management also tell me this email is getting ready to happen? As me being a mix show coordinator, I could be prepared for the email getting ready to happen. I was not told that the email was going to happen. And the email was sent like in the middle of the night. Okay. Damn. So, my theory was, and I told my boy Hollywood at the time, I said, yo, if somebody does not talk to me by the next day, November 21st, by the time I walk in there to do the Throwback at Noon, if somebody don't have a conversation with me, I'm resigning on the air. And my boy Hollywood was like, nah, don't do that. I'm like, yo, man, this is like a total, to me, it's like a total disrespect. So sure enough, couple of minutes into me doing the show, nobody have a conversation with me. Nobody walked in the DJ booth to say they wanted to talk to me after I get off the air, nothing. And so I resigned on the air, on the spot, without telling anybody. Wow. So when I resigned on the air, TT might have been the first person that came in the room to say something to me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out. And then Ebro came in. Ebro tried to talk me out of it. I'm out. They put Flex on the phone while I'm on the air.
Whatever.
And they put Flex on the phone. See, nah. And I'm like, I was like, yo, I don't even want to talk to Flex. I think he can hear me from the speaker. I don't want to talk to him. And that's how. And then I got escorted out the building by Pat Robinson. We all know Pat Robinson, right? We all know.
HR.
Shout out to Pat Robinson.
Who, by the way, she ain't at Hot 97 no more.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow. But in any event, I got escorted out the building, and no problem, all good. And so that is actually what happened. People thought I left because of the stuff that I went through in the past. Had nothing to do with that. The story I told you is what was getting ready to happen. Because the other thing too is that I saw the writing on the wall as well as like what they was getting ready to try to do. They wanted to get younger. They wanted to try to get some newer talent in there. We was already looking for a new midday person at the time. So I could see that they wanted to change midday. So my thing is I can let go of the Throwback at Noon. I still got the Friday Night Live show where I could play new music, but I just wasn't told in the proper way that this was going to happen. And so that's why I left. And then after I left, then it was a whole big thing. Like, you know, with management, I was just totally looked at bad from management's point of view. Because when I resigned, I did it in a respectful way. I'm like, hey, I'm resigning. This is my last, even though I didn't tell nobody in the building, but I wasn't on the air. I didn't shit on anybody on the air. I just said this is my last day. And after when we went in commercials, like 12:20, 12:25, they escorted me out. So I didn't get to finish.
You didn't get to finish the show.
Wow.
No, I didn't get to finish the show. So
They ain't trust you.
as we went in the commercials, they was like, "See, you got to leave." You know what I mean, or whatever the case. And it was
because they was all in the back scurrying because you got those motherfuckers, you got them, and they wanted to have the one up on you. And for those of you out there that don't understand or don't know the business of radio, usually they always want to be the ones to be able to create or talk your narrative. And what C did was took the power back from them and took a chance and took a risk at being blackballed for life. But at least he got to write his own fucking ending. So
but
I commend you for that.
I don't feel like
I'm clapping for you. Nope, we're clapping.
We're clapping.
You walk the fuck out. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't feel like I blackballed, but I want to just finish the story. Like after it happened, there was a lot of friction between myself and management. You know, people from MS, Rick Cummings. A lot of people just felt that how I handled it was wrong. So it took and this is in my own doing, everybody. It took like a year to repair the relationships I disrupted with people like Rick Cummings, people in upper management.
Rick Cummings was like the big boss in corporate.
Right. And still is. So, but it took like a year to repair those relationships. Like I took it upon myself to meet with Rick Cummings, maybe within the next 6 months, 8 months after I left. I had lunch with him without nobody telling me, without me telling anybody. I had lunch with him to rectify that situation with him. I rectified my situation with TT.
But why are you rectifying the situation with her?
Let me finish.
Shoot.
Let me finish.
I'm about to get my money.
Even though I felt like TT was wrong, and I still to this day in 2021, I feel like TT was wrong in what she did or whatever the case is. From TT's standpoint, I look at it as here's a new girl coming in from Virginia. She always wanted to be here at Hot. She got in, and to me, she was just being told what to do. She was just being told how to handle the situation. I don't feel that TT 200% handled the situation the way that she did. I think there was other people around her that told her how to handle it. This is just my view, my assessment. Because when you come in, anytime you come into a new situation, in any job, I don't care if any type of employment you have, when you first come in, you're going to come in there with eggshells, and you're going to come in there with the notion of, let me feel this out first. Let me do what they tell me to do. Let me just do it and move the way I'm told how to move. And once I get my feet wet, then I can navigate and do it the way that I think is best. So I feel that TT was doing something in relevance to somebody telling her how to do it. And I know Jonesy is twisting her lips. That's fine. I know Jonesy got her.
Because you give people way too much credit, and I love you for that. You give them way too much benefits of doubt.
But in any event, me and TT reconciled our differences or whatever the case is. Life is too short, man.
And I would say this though, I know TT a long time ago, and she's a good person. She's
so do I. Never had no problem with TT, just for the record. But I know business, and I know Hot 97, and I have been through this dance with them over and over and over again. I've been
now. Look, the Friday show that I had, who's on the Friday show? It's TT with Bobby Trends. So
your motherfucking microphone.
So I know what the intent was. I get it. I understand it. I understand what the intent was. But something like that for me, there's some things that I'll hold on to that bothers me, that I'll hold on to, and there's some things that I can let go. Something like that I can let go. Now, Envy know how I feel about Charlemagne. How I feel about him, I can never let that go. I can never ever let how I feel towards that man go. So there's some things I can let go, and there's some things I can't let go. But the TT MS broadcasting thing, you know, because at the same time, the other thing too is that I was there for 21 years. So I'm not going to let my legacy for what I did with that station be disrupted by a mishap that somebody else had an intention on doing towards me, or some other forces had an intent to do something towards me. I'm not going to let that disrupt what I brought to the table for that station or whatever the case is. So my thing is that I can that something like that can be rectified. And there's other things that I go through in life that people may do to me that I can't never forget. So I was able to let that go and to forget that. Now, when I left Hot, was I scared as shit? I was scared as shit. I went to the parking lot. We all know those different parking lots around the corner from Hot that we used to work at, that we used to park at. The day that I left, November 21st, 2014, I went to the parking lot and sat in the car in the parking lot for like 3 hours. Like, what am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? I just sat in the car. People calling me, asking me what's going on, wasn't picking up the phone, sat in the car and just was trying to figure out my next move. It took for me, it took like 2 weeks to figure out what was going to be the next plan for me. And what was the next plan was just catering to the older audience, catering to the people that grew up on me from Big Daddy Kane, that grew up with me from when I used to do Club Speed, that grew up with me from Hot 97. Because I wanted to leave Hot 97 maybe 3 to 5 years prior to the day that I left. Like, it was always in my intention to leave. I used to tell Flex all the time, I got to get out of here. I want to leave. I want to, like, at 40, when I was 45, I was like, I need to get out of Hot. And Flex, it was the main reason why I stayed longer than I did, it was because Flex was like, come on, man, we're going to ride this till the wheels fall off, till the wheels fall off, till the wheels fall. But I was like 45 and I was having conversations with Funk like, yo, bro, I want to go to BLS. I want to get out of here. I want to go next door. And so, but Flex was the one that kept holding me on. So when I left Hot 97 at 48, I was already, and then the stuff I went through personally also had an effect. It was like mentally, I was like, I got to get out of here. So I was scared as shit, but I had to reinvent myself and just be like, yo, leave the young thing alone. If some of the young promoters or some of the younger generation of people want to mess with me, they do, but cater to the people that
love you.
That really was with me from 87, 88, because you know what I mean? And so
and still love you for who you are. Yeah.
I had to rebrand myself. I had to clear out the wardrobe and start buying some button-up shirts and some suits and like literally like just like reinvent myself to where like if I'm going to cater to the older audience now, like I gotta clear
look
out
the part
and reset the whole thing, and that's what I did.
So is there anyone or someone's that wouldn't take your call after you left? Because Hot 97 had a huge hold on hip hop and the artists and the labels. Now, once you leave on like terms like that and you become state's enemy, artists and labels get shitty too. Did anybody turn their back?
That's one thing I never experienced. I never experienced not getting a call back or somebody at Hot or somebody at MS not picking up my call, whether it was an email call. I never experienced that.
What you said, Mike Kaiser at Def Jam didn't pick up your calls? That rat bastard.
Even the record label reps, like I never experienced that. And as a matter of fact, when I left Hot, I will never forget some of the record label reps like Chris Green and Footy. And I know they're more, no disrespect to them, but they're more on a lower tier. But these are the guys that we deal with on a regular basis as DJs. But they all gave me a dinner. It was Chris Green and Footy and Los and some of the people, I'm naming. Envy know who they know.
Right.
Envy know who I'm talking about. Puerto Rico Rob. They all gave me a dinner when I left. Like, and they, and anybody that knows these guys, all they do is snap and want to just do jokes and snap on you. So the whole dinner, they was just, Five, why you left? Five, why you left? Why you, but it was a great feeling to be around them. But I never experienced that. The only thing that happened when I left was I did not get the opportunity to be on BLS. Like I wanted to be on BLS, and but because of the way I left, they wouldn't give me any type of solid position at BLS. From time to time, they would have me as a guest DJ for mixed weekends and so on and so forth for the holiday, but they never gave me a permanent slot on BLS, and I think it had something to do with that. I feel like it definitely has something to do with the way I left Hot.
So once again, they don't own how they shitted on you, who was part of management. They want to still hold that against you, how you stood on your square.
Yeah, there were certain people that said to me, and I'm not going to name names on this one, but there were certain people that said, yeah, man, we don't want you at BLS because we don't want you creeping over that Hot, trying to get back in that Hot. Like, You those were certain things that were told to me. And my thing was, when I walked away from Hot 97, like I really walked away. Like it was really like I was never ever trying to ever get back on Hot, because like I said, I was mentally, I wanted to leave 3 years prior to when I left. So that was never in my mind. But
people have the perception, because it's Hot 97 where hip hop lives, that no one would ever have the inclination to want to leave and make a move. That's what people think. But
here's the other thing too. Back to what I said earlier about me reinventing myself. I think some of the people that was preventing me from getting on BLS in the building at Hot, I think they only looked at me as a Hot 97 young DJ. But you know, like if you know my history from Big Daddy Kane all the way up until now, it's like me playing for a younger audience is light work. That's not who I really am as a DJ. So in any event, back to me reinventing myself, I had to reinvent like to the older promoters and the older crowd demographic. This is who I am. Like I did the throwback at noon. All I did was play classic music every day at 12 noon for X amount of years. But to a lot of people's mind, they think Hot 97 and young. So one of the main things I did was I had a 50th birthday back in 2016, and I don't never throw a birthday for myself. So I had a 50th birthday party where I had Busta Rhymes come to the club Amadeus. And the only reason I did this 50th birthday party was to prove to the older promoters and to prove to the older generation and older promoters that I belong in the market. You understand? In the older generation lane, I belong.
Brilliant marketing idea.
So I did that, but it took a minute for the older, what we call urban AC, adult contemporary people to really get that. Yeah, this is who I really am. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the case is.
When everything happened to you, and you were going through everything, was there a moment where people stopped fucking with you? They didn't call you anymore. The people that you knew.
I just said that. That was just my question.
No, he when he left. I'm talking about we went through.
No. I mean, Envy. There was there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that turned me down when I was going through the personal stuff that I went through. Nobody particularly at Hot 97. Nobody. The only bad thing that happened when I was at Hot, when I went through what I went through personally, was that Envy may know this story. You should, because it has something to do with you. So when I left Hot, not when I left Hot, the first time I got arrested in 2011, I had written a letter to the whole MS New York. This is the company that owns Hot 97. I wrote a letter.
Or used to own Hot 97.
Right, go ahead. Right. That Jones, you gotta make that
knows
clear.
Everything.
You gotta make that clear that they've been sold. You gotta make that clear.
They are no longer, because God sees all things.
So I wrote a letter to MS New York at the time, apologizing about what happened. But in the letter, I was like, I can't really talk about what happened. I just want to apologize. I'm sorry if it affects some of you or something. Somebody sent that email to the Breakfast Club.
Oh, it was either Envy or Angie.
No, Envy didn't work at Hot. Somebody in MS New York forwarded the email to the Breakfast Club people.
Wow.
And then I think Angela Yee read the letter over the air. Am I correct, Envy?
Why would she read the letter? And
listen, that's their job. That's their job. You listen. At the end of the day, we're in media, and it's a competitive business. All right, so at that time we was going at each other's neck with Hot and Power. So as they should have read that letter.
What did the letter say?
I just said it was me apologizing to the company about what I went through, but I couldn't talk in detail about what I went through. I couldn't say if it was true or not.
Right. So that was a personal letter. I disagree with you. That's not for the world. That's
no. But hear me out. But once again, at the time, the climate of Hot versus Power was so intense that any leverage that Breakfast Club can use against Hot, they was going to use it. Any leverage that Flex can use against the Breakfast Club, like, okay, what Envy went through personally shouldn't have been broadcasted. But it was. Stuff like that shouldn't have been going down, but it was that intense that So when the letter was sent to the Breakfast Club, I think Angela Yee read it, and as she should. This is what they were supposed to do. The question is, what grimy motherfucker forwarded to them?
Yeah.
That's the bigger question. What grimy motherfucker would do that and and forward the letter? So
I'm here for the let's break it on down. Who the fuck was
that happened to me. That happened to me there was two specific things that happened to me when I was at Hot. When I went through my transgressions and stuff like that. It was that, and I will never forget, Big Dennis came to me. This was
Big Dennis, for those of you that may not know, he used to work with Flex, and then he wound up doing middays.
With me. We was on middays together. So I don't know if it was the first time I got arrested in 2011 or the second time in 2013, but it was one of those times, I think it was the first time in 2011. Big Dennis came to me and said, yo, see, I can't tell you where this coming from, but there's people in the building that don't want you to DJ at Summer Jam. Right? They don't want you DJing at Summer Jam. So now, for anybody that know, and this is not to brag, but for anybody that knows about Summer Jam, who's one of the best DJs that ripped Summer Jam? All right. They call me the Summer Jam killer. I would rip Summer Jam better than half of the artists, or whatever the case is. So Big Dennis is telling me the word in the building is that I should not be on the Summer Jam bill. They going to the president of MS and saying C shouldn't be on Summer Jam. So when Dennis told me that, I respect Dennis that he couldn't tell me where it coming from, but to me it was fuck everybody dead. My thing was fuck everybody dead. So that whole time that I was told that leading up to Summer Jam, I didn't speak to no one. I was like, fuck everybody dead. And when I tell you, I ripped Summer Jam to shreds. I wrecked the buffet in that stadium. I ripped that shit to shreds on purpose. That's what I did. So those were the two things that happened while I was still at Hot, when I went through what I went through. But back to Envy's general question, there's been a lot of people, Envy, that and I'm not going to say names because I'm not giving them that.
I will. I think Flex had a part in all that bullshit.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
No,
he did not.
No, I don't know, and I don't care.
No, he did not. No, he did not. If anything, the two people that was there for me the most during everything was Flex and Ebro. They was there for me the absolute.
Then Ebro did it. Flex and fucking Ebro. Both of them. It's the perfect scenario. You have to think like a criminal.
But throughout the years, people have told me, people have even come. This industry is so fucked up. This industry is so fucked up. But there's people that has came to me throughout the years and said to me, when you did that interview with Ebro and you broke down and cried and you admitted to what you did when you did those interviews with Ebro, Ebro only wanted that because he wanted to get ahead in his career. Like, he used you to get ahead. Listen, at the end of the day, I in order for me to express how I felt, first time I went on Ebro show, I was lying. Second time I told the truth. In order for me to express that, I had to go to a platform where I was comfortable. So I work with the man, I'm going to give him that. So whether his intent was to use me because he was trying to get ahead or whatever, and people got their own views on Ebro as a person, but during that whole process, I felt nothing but comfortable doing everything I did with Ebro. If you remember the two interviews well, there was never no video of the interviews. It was only audio. And Ebro, I gave Ebro permission if he wanted to do video of those interviews. He never did video. He only did audio. So that just shows you kind of the respect that I felt that he had for me to not even do videos of those interviews that could be documented forever. There was only audio. If Shawnee remembers that, we only did audio. We never did video. And I never told Ebro not to do video, but Ebro decided we're not going to do a video. We're just going to do audio of the.
It's all part of the play, and we often get comfortable with our abusers. You were the victim, and he rocked you to sleep. Ebro and Flex, I'm coming for y'all.
But I went through a lot, Envy, with people in the business, not so much directed with Hot 97. I went through a lot. I'm not going to give them the glory to say their name, but they know who they are because they know I mess with them. None of them, the people that I went through stuff with, nobody that is, no disrespect to their character or their relevance, but it's nobody that's super, you know, big or not in my eyes anyway. But there's little instances that has happened throughout the years to me. Like for instance.
And Shawnee, you was fucking there. Tell the truth, nigga.
We're not talking about hot, man. We're not talking about hot.
No. Forwarded that fucking email, Shawnee.
Let Shawnee talk. Shawnee, you was fucking there. Was it Ebro or Flex, Shawnee? Tell the truth.
I don't know.
Ebro and Flex never shitted.
I don't know.
Yo, Jonesy, there's been situations that I've gone through.
I'm kidding.
There's situations that I've gone through to this day in 2021. 2021 now. It's been 10 years since the first time I got arrested in 2011. It's been 10 years since that shit. There's just situations I've gone through now where a promoter will call me and say, yo, DJ such and such hit me up and said, why am I booking the gay guy?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God. I don't know.
I can't. Like that DJ is trying to get the booking from that promoter. Cause that DJ ain't really working with the promoter like that, but the DJ see the promoter working with me, and the DJ is calling the promoter, yo, why you booking the gay guy? Like, why?
Yep.
And
blowing up the spot. Just
and then the promoter hit me up. Cause listen, I don't know if Envy's still here, but we know promoters are full of shit. They're full of shit. So they're gonna run back and tell you what the DJ done said.
Yep.
So now my thing is like, I got a one up on the DJ. That DJ, I may still speak to that person, he or she to this day, say what's up. They don't know what I know about what they done said, but I know that there's DJs out there, some of the most famous, some of the most legendary, some of the most iconic DJs have shitted behind my back, went to promoters, yo, why you booking the gay guy?
Oh.
And think it's not gonna be said. So even to this day, it happens. It doesn't happen often. But it does happen. So
can you make me like your adopted little sister so I can fuck these motherfuckers up with my lethal tongue? You need me. You need me as your sister. Can you tap me in?
At the end, hey, Jonesy, listen. Yo, Jonesy, listen. Let me.
He's gonna say no. He's gonna say no.
Let me tell you something, man. This is something that a lot of people don't know about me.
She want to fight. See, she want to fight.
I have, and this has nothing to do with what I've been through, but I have a spiritual presence around me. I am not the most spiritual person in the world, but my aunt, who's like my sister, she's a minister. So I always get spiritual enlightenment from my aunt. This is for years and years and years. And a lot of people don't know this about me. All you know is Mr. C. But I get, as Calvin LeBron Jr., I get a lot of spiritual enlightenment from my aunt. So I am covered. I am protected.
Wow.
I'm good. So when I go through these type of things with certain people in certain instances, I just have to refer back to certain scriptures I get that my aunt sends me, certain passages that she sent, certain conversations that I may have, and I refer back to some of those type of things. And the man above will take care of everything. Between myself as a human being, between myself working hard and doing what I need to do to better myself, between me doing what I can humanly possible do to keep myself relevant and do what I need to do, between myself and the man above, things will be taken care of. And that's what I rely on.
Well, if God ever gets too busy.
Holla at your girl.
Jesus.
Oh,
and you feel the need for a transgression.
There's one person. I'll tell y'all one cat. There's one dude that's a
Shut
DJ.
Up, Mike.
There's one dude that's a DJ that shitted on me. I've known this person for like 30 years. 30 years. Shitted on me. And
Wendy?
I said a DJ.
Here we go.
Here she go.
Shitted on me. Somebody I've known for 30 years. He knows I don't fuck with him. But I still do parties with him. There's been times promoters be like, yo, are you good with being on the bill? Because as a DJ, especially you're the headliner, or you're the one of the headliners, they're going to ask you, you're playing with this person. Are you good? Yes. I never let it be known to people who this person is. I still play with the person. I don't say a word to him. He gets on. I get on, he get on. He know I don't fuck with him. He don't say nothing to me. And I can still do that. And I know in my heart of hearts, that shit kills him. That shit kills him that I am better than him in a sense that he know I could have cut his bread. He know that I can chop him at the knees if I want to chop him at the knees. But I'm killing you even more by not speaking to you, by not, we don't have a presence with each other no more, nothing. That's
and then body in the building.
That kills him more than me verbally saying his name or whatever the case is, because he knows.
He knows.
Yeah,
that's like an internal hell.
That's like an internal, like, nigga, you know. And I'll take even further. He's scared to death. He probably scared to death of me blowing up his name, because then he'll know that then it's over. So so it's like, to me, it's like he knows I have the upper hand, but in my heart of hearts, and like I said, the spiritual presence that I have, I'll hold on to it, but you know what it is.
The offer still stands.
Wow.
If God ever gets busy.
But here's the other thing too. The flip side of it is that it's been 10 years, right? This whole thing happened with me 10 years ago. My nigga, you could have came up and just apologized.
Right.
Maybe I would accept it, maybe I wouldn't.
Right.
He tried to apologize once when everything first happened, when he shit it back 10 years ago. I didn't accept his apology. I walked away from him, but it's been 10 years now. It's not to say I wouldn't accept his apology, but the thing is that you're so, part of him is so prideful that he don't want to apologize. But the other side is that I know it affects you. I'll be on Clubhouse. I'll do a Clubhouse. He joins my Clubhouse. Like bro, what you know?
Wow.
Clubhouse.
Yo, what is his name, Rob? With?
I'm following your page heavy now, Mr. C. I need to find out.
Does he spin on BLS?
Huh?
Does he spin on BLS?
Wendy, Wendy. Jonesy, I'm not doing all that.
You know I'm going back over there next weekend, right?
What?
To Wendy's house. Guys, I didn't tell y'all.
I'm invited.
Yes, we tried to call you last time.
I was sick the last time.
Can you come out and play?
Yeah, if I'm free, absolutely.
Saturday night. Tell me if it's Friday or Saturday is better. Envy, do you got backup for me?
Let me put this on the calendar.
You can call me just in case. I'll be home. I'll be here. So call me just in case.
Yeah, because you know Wendy.
Here we go.
But
here we go. Want to ask me, Envy?
Yeah, go ahead, Envy.
I was gonna say, if you don't know Mr. C, DJ for Big Daddy Kane, and he was the person that introduced Big to Puff.
Yep.
So I always wanted to know, Big sold millions of records and made Puff millions of dollars. Did Puff ever give you money for bringing Big over? And it's been so long. I'm just curious to how much. I always wanted to know.
Good question.
Big hundreds of millions of records, and it was like, if it wasn't for you, Big might have went to RCA,
anywhere, right?
Def Jam, anywhere else.
Well, the first album, I got 1 point off the first album.
How much is 1 point? What would that accumulate to?
Yeah, what does that equal, Mr. C?
Envy, stop. You be flipping.
All in your pocket. What is the point?
Yeah.
In the words of the Malcolm X movie, take your hands out my pocket. Hands out my pocket. Listen, What Ready to Die is? Where we at with Ready to Die? 10 million, like somewhere around there.
Yes.
1 point times 1 point is 1%.
Oh, you good, Zaddy.
So you do the math on that. And not only was I executive producer of the Ready to Die album, I was I was the executive producer of the Born Again album, because they brought me back for the Born Again album because they ran out of acapellas and they ran out of verses. So they had to get back to the source to get some other verses. So I'm also, a lot of people don't know that, I'm also executive producer of the Born Again album. So
okay, see, you ain't doing too bad at all in this motherfucker.
That's why, when I walked away from Hot, like as Hov said, I don't get dropped. I dropped the label.
No, that's right.
It's good, and I'm not really one. I wish I can be like you, Envy. I'm not one to show the doors open in the opposite way and all of that. And I that's not really me, and that's not really my style. But I'm good. I promise you, I'm good.
No.
And I'm glad. You deserve that shit.
Absolutely.
You deserve that.
I'm good.
And do you still have any like unheard Biggie verses or music?
Absolutely. I'm gonna show y'all.
I'm
I'm gonna show y'all something right now. Hold on.
Could we get exclusive?
Hold on. I'm in one of my music rooms. So this, I'm going to pull up a suitcase here. This suitcase is nothing but Biggie.
Wow.
What?
This big
Unheard of.
This is a Tony Touch. This is an old Tony Touch DJ bag. But this one suitcase is nothing but Biggie stuff. I call it the Biggie bag.
The Biggie bag.
And I have all this back up in storage, so don't try to come to the crib.
I said, man, that's a dangerous bag to have right now.
You gotta give us a sample. Give us something, see?
You want? Okay, let me give you.
Yay! He's helping my reboot.
Okay, let me give you one. Let me give you one. I will give you. Hold on.
As he's looking that up, I just want you guys to know that Ready to Die sold over 7 million copies. So just you know.
Get your hands out my pocket.
Every million, the label makes 10 million, so that's 70 million. I'm not saying he got 1% of that, but just think about if he had 1% of that, that's $7 million, 3.5 million in taxes.
Damn.
Mr. C doing all right out there. I just
somebody gotta die. So we had the So Biggie did a record called "Somebody's Got to Die," and it was on the Life After Death album.
I know that.
And there was an unreleased verse that never came out on this song. So I'm gonna play the unreleased verse.
Yay! Well, I'm about to be back, y'all.
You've been back. You've been back. So I'm gonna play the unreleased verse of this record. This is at the end. So let me just fast forward a little bit.
Somebody got to die. Somebody got to die. My chain got stuck the fuck up. Somebody got to die.
All right, this is the unreleased verse.
Somebody got to die. Somebody got to die.
All right, here we go.
Somebody got to die. Somebody got to die. Somebody got to die.
And you know this is the original version because the regular version he'd be like somebody got to die, nobody got to know, you know, like he's filling in the verses on the regular version.
Cool.
All right, here we go. Here's the unreleased.
That was so much fun.
That was packed full of stories and good stories at that.
That's right.
Oh my God. So guys, listen. We didn't even get into, but it's for the better. So we're going to do part 1, part 2, and maybe part 3, depending on our producer. But I think we should probably just leave it on that high note.
Yeah.
And say RIP to Shock G.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Who may not have been as current an artist as Black Rob and DMX, but definitely made a huge impact.
Very.
Yes,
Absolutely.
he did.
Yeah. And be careful, be safe. We love you. Thanks for rocking. Please go to our IGs. If you want to be an advertiser or a sponsor, please get at us at MissJonesReunion@gmail.com. Next week is the week of verses with SWV and Escape. So Lily from SWV will be joining us next week. Make sure you are too. I love you guys.